Hello everybody, it's Jenn, Scrapbena Creations. So this is my first card using the Clearly Besotted ChaChaCha stamp set. I'm bringing in the Doodlebug Fairy Tales for a pink colored paper that has flowers on it. I'm using this rectangle die from Lawn Fawn, and the previous die is the Peekaboo Square window from My Favorite Things. So I'm going to start off today's card with the coloring. And for the pigs, I'm using FS2, FS3, FS6, and FS7. It gives a great coloring for pig's skin. So it has the light kind of tan color, but it also brings in a little bit of pink undertone, which pigs can have. So the FS6 really does that with the pink undertone in the flesh type color that it gives. So I'm laying in the FS2 and then the FS3, and then I move into the darker colors, the FS6 and the FS7. The FS7 is darker, but it has a peachy undertone as opposed to the pink. I'm using PP2 for the cheeks. I really wanted something bold to go against the pinky peach tones of their skin. So then I'm going to move on to the little tuxedo. I'm using IG3, IG5, and IG7. Using IG7 for the darkest. So this time I'm going darkest. I use the lightest color, and then I'm going darkest. Then bring in the midtone, the IG5. Sorry if I said IG6. And then blending that out with the IG3, and then going back over just to get it a little bit darker. So this card was really inspired by Dirty Dancing, how could it not, with the famous lift here being depicted by this particular image. And so in the movie, Baby is wearing a pink dress, so I wanted to make sure that I gave this little pig a pink dress to commemorate that famous scene. So I'm using PP1, PP3, and PP2, and PP2 is actually the darkest of the three colors. So now that I have that colored in, I'm just going to fussy cut this. Clearly Besotted is no longer making dies for their stamp sets, but this was really easy to cut out, and I decided to leave a little bit of a white border. So there's the image finished, and I'm going to move on to the card panel. So I'm going to be using this little spotlight that comes with the stamp set. And so I'm just giving a good push here. This is the first time I'd use it. I'm using the Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, which works well with alcohol markers or watercolors, but it also works well with distress inks. So I wanted to have the light with a little bit of pink in the center so that it almost was like the pink in her dress was being highlighted by lights in the hall where they were doing the dance. And I'm not worried about all the darkness on the sides because I'm going to be cutting this out. So I just want the inside of the light source to be a light yellow, and then with the pink going through the middle. And this will look much better once I cut it out. But just getting a really nice blend there for the spotlight. So I'm going to fussy cut this out as well, which really only took a couple seconds. And then that will be ready to put on my card base. So here's the Doodlebug paper that I have cut with the Lawn Fawn stitched rectangle die. And then I'm going to be cutting out a white panel to put on top of that. So this is just white cardstock, and I believe I cut it down to, I took off 1/2 inch of a regular size A2 card, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I did 3 3/4 by 5. I've stamped the sentiment, "I've had the time of my life," which is definitely taken from the Dirty Dancing movie. I'm going to stick the pink piece of pattern paper down onto the card base. I'm going to give that a really good press so it is nice and cleanly laying on the card base. And then I'm going to put this white cardstock panel on top of that. So you can see when I flip it over the stitch detailing that the Stitch Peekaboo Square window gives. I really love it for highlighting images. So I didn't stick that down all the way because I want to make sure that the right and the left side of the spotlight are underneath the panel, but that the top and the bottom are sticking over top of the cutout of the window. I'm going to stick my little dirty dancing pigs here up on 3M foam tape, and I'm going to peel that off and then get them into place so that they are right in the middle of the spotlight. They are so cute. This stamp set, I saw it and had to have it. It's just too adorable. So once I get them in place, I'm going to use diamond stickles for the little flower in her hair and for her dress and on his little tuxedo bow. And so stickles can be really raised. So what I'm doing here is doing a very light coat so that it is flat but just gives a lot of sparkle. The diamonds have different colors in it. You can see it here in the picture. So it really picks up nicely when it's in the light. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first card of a number coming from the stamp set. I will see you soon. Bye!